Good morning, or good afternoon, should I say, in the UK. Welcome back to Crafters TV. It's our second show of the day. It is our second Saturday of the month, and it is our sewing takeover here at Crafters TV every second Saturday of those months, which is today. And we've already had one fabulous show with some new launches on the softer side this morning. And welcome back, because we're now into our second show, which is, of course, Craft Along. Really looking forward to this one, because the project that our lovely Becky has done is just out of this world. It's gorgeous. However, we're going to talk a few little things before we introduce not only the wonderful Becky, but also our wonderful guest that's joining us on this Craft Along as well. And are you going to craft along with us? That's the whole basis of this show. Are you crafting along too? Please do let us know. This is an interactive channel. We've now got a different social media superstar holding the fort and keeping those comments coming in, which is our gorgeous Rach, or our radical Rach as we like to call her, and she loves sewing, so I know it's going to be a good one. And any question, any comment you want, this is your opportunity while we're live here for the next 2 hours to actually do that. And guess what, if you do comment, we've got a little bit of a thing going off here at Crafters TV. As you've seen with those lovely promo videos at the start, it is, of course, our Crafters TV 4th anniversary, an event that we've been running since the, I want to say Monday the 4th, and it's running right up to Monday the 11th, where they're, well, let's just tell it as it is, a giveaway galore. We are giving away up to £250,000 worth of goodies and products throughout the event. I think we said it was about the 23,000 mark today, or something like that, that we're giving away, because we've already given away thousands and thousands of free product during this event. With the commenting side of things, there is a little prize giveaway for you just simply participating in the shows. Each and every single show that we're doing, and still doing from now right through till Monday, where myself and Craig will be, every single comment that comes through, you're in with a chance of your name being drawn out at the end of the show to go into that prize draw of a £200 or $200 giveaway. Literally, we're giving you the money. We're going to pop it into your account, and you can spend it to your heart's content on any of the products that you want. So that's well worth making sure you do comment. And we've had loads of people that we call them the silent watchers, that have been joining in and commenting. So please do get those comments in across Facebook and across YouTube as well. Now, it is Craft Along, and I'm not here on my own. I have got a lovely producer, Nicholas, still in my ear, along with James, who's in control of that joystick and all those close shots, and our lovely Sam, officially fallen in love with Sam.
Although,
not only, I know, producer Nick.
Although you can't say that now, because we don't have any tea.
Well, we don't have any now, but you know what he's like. He keeps us well hydrated through the shows. So he's absolutely fabulous. So our Sam is looking after all the things on the backstage, and anything that we want as well is there. Our every women need, Becky. That's what I love.
Oh, is that right? I didn't know. Every whim.
Now, well, come back here. Come back here. You going over there? You've ruined my moment there, because I have been chatting to her. He's going, do you want one, Becky? Do you want one? Yeah. Now, I'm not here alone. Radical Rachel and all the other guys that I've mentioned. I've got a wonderful guest, because there is, well, wait a minute, am I on my own? Hang on a minute, there's meant to be an expert over there. Where's she gone? The fabulously wonderful, multi-talented, beautiful, clever, talented, have I said it? I think I've said that twice now. Our good friend and the sewing queen of Crafters TV and Crafters Companion is our fabulous Becky Sworn. Woohoo! Yay! I love that dramatic effect. By the way, can I just say, you're looking absolutely red hot today, missus. I love your dress.
Thank you.
I love your hair.
Thanks.
Someone said earlier, sexy hair.
I quite like that.
Take those compliments, Becky. Take those compliments.
Definitely take those compliments. Thank you very much.
Becky, are you able to show us? Because anybody watching Soft Side this morning, Becky was having a bit of a senior, I call them the grey moments, senior moments. But you know, straight after the show, guys, the true professional that she is, She finished it in about 2 seconds flat because everything went right when the camera stopped rolling.
Honestly, I do apologise because I made an absolute pig's ear this earlier on, and I am so sorry. But it literally, honestly, it took about a minute. I went, look, I've done all these eyelets like now. So this is a bag finish. So you've got your little drawstring bag with your faux suede little pocket here. Those are all the lovely little eyelets that we put in. They're nowhere near as complicated as I made them out to be. They worked really easy. Honestly, it was really, really simple. I might even try and do a little bit of a Facebook Live, a little bit of a video later on to show you just how quick and easy they are, because they really were. But yeah, that's that finished bag, and no joke, it took about 5 minutes to finish it off completely, whilst berating myself for how silly I'd been. So
and can I also say, Becky, we are going to do the demo of the show for that show. We're going to do it right now. We're going to get them votes in. Radical Rachel, you'll probably shout at me, but hey ho, you wasn't here this morning. You need to know why. We didn't have time. We ran out. We ran over. Don't tell anybody, but we ran over the time. But we are going to do a little vote, and we're going to get that kick-started for everybody who's watching right now. So, number 1 is the bag of the labour of love, I'm going to call it, a labour of love. That beautiful bag that both myself and producer Nicola have got on our eyes, and we're fighting over that one. And number 2 is that gorgeous card with the new multi-craft dies that were launched in that first show as well. So it's 1 or 2, this is 2, or 1 the bag. Get voting, we'll do that count up in a second. Slightly odd that we're doing it this way, but we did run out of time. However, this is a craft along. We have got a fabulous project lined up for you, which will go. In fact, Becky, have you got it?
I have.
Can you have a little sneaky peek of the project?
It's so big, I can't actually fit it on the desk.
God, look at this. This is amazing.
This is a table runner. Leave it like that so you can see it properly. Table runner, bed runner, whichever you like to call it, using the builder block system. So there you go. Like that.
That is stunning, Becky. And you said this could be a Christmas table runner or a bed runner as well, depending on the fabric that you're using.
Yeah.
Absolutely stunning. Look at all that work. It's absolutely amazing. Now, this is a craft along, however, we won't be finishing it. It won't be a start to it like we do with our non-regular craft alongs. This is not a start to finish project. This is a start, and we get to the point of where we finish at the end of the 2 hours, because our Becky every Wednesday over on the sewing group of Crafters Companion.
Sewing with Crafters Companion Facebook page.
Every Wednesday at 5 o'clock, our Becky goes live, and this is the project that you're going to be finishing, isn't it?
Yes, that's
However,
right.
we're just going to put a little disclaimer out there. Becky's been having a few issues with her tech. God, Becky, I feel your pain, because mine, I'm having the same problems myself. But our lovely Liam, our tech guy, is heading over to Becky's this Wednesday, actually, while he's down there in London. He's going to fix the issues. So for this week in particular, it will be Thursday at 5 p.m, but we'll keep reiterating that throughout the show.
And I will pop it onto my social media as well, and I normally do a little reminder in the morning anyway. But yeah, it's going to be Thursday, and we're just going to continue. We'll see how far we get with the craft along today, and we'll just continue it over the next subsequent few weeks.
Lovely. Thank you very much. Now, we've got loads of in-laws coming in. I can see there's already loads of lovely people. We'll give a little shout out to you guys in a minute. But I've got a very special guest that is joining us today during our Craft Along project. And I can hear the chanting already in my ear. We've got our very wonderful, and you may recognise this lovely lady's face because she just joined us now and again here on Craft Alongs. I didn't get a chance to speak to her before the show because I was a little bit tad busy on the phone call. I know. But we have got the fabulous Rhonda joining us. So good afternoon, Rhonda. How are you, my lovely?
Doing well, thank you.
Oh, Rhonda, looking at your room. My goodness me. That is an insanely big craft room.
Hold on a minute, it's not just Rhonda's craft room, that is her sewing room.
She's got a paper
craft room as well, haven't you, Rhonda?
A dual craft room.
My craft room is on the 2nd floor.
Rhonda, I did think it was a different angle because I know you've joined us on our paper crafting craft along. So I had noticed that looks slightly different, and it's very big. And I'm a little bit jealous as well to have a sewing room and a craft room. I think is absolutely amazing. Are you looking forward to this craft along, Rhonda?
Well, I think this is the one I'm least prepared for.
You'll be absolutely fine. You will be absolutely fine, because I'm telling you, this project, Becky has assured me that it's a really good, a bit of a back to basics kind of thing, using our builder block system, which we'll run through all those lists for you as well. But for anybody who doesn't know you, Rhonda, tell us a little bit about yourself. How long have you been crafting?
Oh, since I was a kid, I've been doing different things. I knit, I crochet, I cross stitched, I'm like everybody else here.
Yeah.
I'm just crafty. I like doing everything.
Oh, Rhonda, do you know what? I'm really delighted that you're joining us, and I'm delighted you're joining us on the sewing one as well. So I'm going to read out the lists in a moment, and then we'll throw over to Becky. So I'm conscious I want to get us started as soon as we can, because we're already 10 minutes into the show. But Rhonda, we'll keep checking in with you from time to time as well. Anything you want to ask, you know, if you get stuck or anything, wave at the guys, and they'll pick up, and we can bring you back into the studio live, so to speak. But ask any questions if you ever want to pause, and that goes for anybody as well. Any questions you want to ask, absolutely do that. I'm going to shout a few hellos out before we get started, but we do have a little bit of a shopping list coming up on the screen for you right now in what you're going to need. This is going to be a test of my eyes, so I'm going to come in a little bit closer because I haven't got the new glasses on yet. Gemini Build-A-Block patchwork system, the Gemini Build-A-Block patchwork plus system, gingerbread lane fat quarters, cream fat quarters, red fabric, blue fabric, wadding and batting and thread. I think I've said that right, isn't it? I think I've said it right. The next page that we have got for you as the remainder, which is the Threaders A2 folding cutting mat, the Threaders 6" by 24" folding ruler, love that folding ruler, the rotary cutter, the Gemini 2 die cutting machine, or any Gemini die cutting machine if you don't have the new one, a sewing machine, an iron, magnetic pin dish and pins, and of course our Kalal textile glue, which we talked about earlier on today. So that is all of your shopping list that you need for this particular project. We did say though, because I think we've handed the fabrics over now, because we did say that our Becky might be using those gorgeous new fabrics that we had in the launch. You can see the details. We'll show you all of these things with the launch of those gorgeous fabrics later on, because our Becky is going to be using them. So I'm going to do a quick, very couple of shout outs. We've actually got a winner already.
Oh, really?
Landslide. Landslide. Producer Nikki listening. We ain't got it because number one, the bag won, and can I tell you, deservedly so. You put your heart and soul into that bag, and I'm not kidding. We came off air. I sat down here for 2 minutes, looked at my phone, looked up. She'd done it. Seriously, in a matter of minutes, and she said, "I can't believe that's just happened to me." Happens to us all. It really does. I can hear the noises as we speak. There's things happening at the other end already. We can always feel. You did say it was going to be one of those days. So a few hellos. Lois, she said hello from Hawaii. Laquita Gibson, hello from a gloomy day in Kentucky, but I know CCTV will bring some sunshine. Hopefully everyone is doing well. We're all doing fine. Thank you very much. Sweet Lady 1027 says hello from New York. I do love sewing, says Rach. I'm bending Becky's ear about all things sewing. Becky R says, hi Debbie. I'm not saying that right. Is it Becky Oz? I don't know how to pronounce the second name, so I do apologise, Becky. Not you, Becky, but Becky who was on the comments, Becky.
H-A-A-S.
That's right.
Haas? It's German, isn't it? Haas? German or Dutch?
Could be. It could be. She's saying hi again, Debbie and Becky and all. Lynn Harvey again says hello, Debbie, Becky and the amazing CCTV crew, the wonderful social team, superstars and everyone else. So we carve our afternoon from a melting West Sussex. Yeah, my daughter's just told me how warm it is down home.
Really?
It's red hot scorching, yeah.
It's definitely a lot cooler up here.
Yeah,
definitely
it's 28 degrees down where we are in Barnsley, and I'm up here with the gloominess outside. Although, to be fair, it is actually quite warm. It's just a bit gloomy outside.
It is a bit, isn't it?
Mistress, oh, hang on a minute. Mistress Dio? Or Do? I'm so sorry about your username is pronouncing it properly. I do apologise. Good afternoon, everyone, she says. Did some sewing earlier, and I'm nipping. Wait a minute. I'm knitting a heel flap now whilst watching. What's a heel flap? A scratching moment for myself, because I'm not sure what a heel flap is. But do let us know, Mistress Dale. I think that's how you say that. Mary Pat 1000, good morning again, everyone from sunny Montana. I'm so excited for this craft along. I promise you I will shut up in a moment. We've got loads of other people commenting as well. Honestly, we'll come back to those in a moment, because there's a fair few more. But if I carry on reading those out, we are not going to get onto the craft along, and we're nearly 15 minutes in. So I'm going to shut up talking. I'm going to hand over to the fabulous Becky.
Thanks very much. Right, so we're going to make this, we're going to be using the builder block. So I've just got 2 blocks out at the moment to show you. You can use any of the patterns of the builder blocks that you want to use. We just want 5 12-inch blocks that we're going to be using for this particular quilt, table runner, bed runner, that kind of thing. So it's up to you the kind of one that you choose. This one is using the Builder Block Plus, and it's also using the original Builder Block for creating this little square. This one is using the original Builder Blocks. It's just half square triangles and squares. And this is the one we're going to start with the first. So this one is probably, I'd say, the more complicated one because you've got more angles. This is probably the easier one to start off with, but we're going to go for this one first of all. And whilst I have used that gingerbread lane fabric for this, I am going to use some of the beautiful brushed cotton fabric that we've got on the show, just because, well, Nicola told me to, and she's the boss at the moment. So I'm going to be using this. So this is beautiful brushed cotton. So for this one that I'm making now, I'll be putting that on my bed rather than using it as a table runner. So what we want to do is we want to use squares and, pointing it to it, squares and half square triangles. Put it out of the way, silly me. Great visuals. Debbie, can I ask you a question? Do you have over there, in the original builder block, do you have the little booklet inside? So I've just opened this one, it doesn't have the little
Can I open it up, producer Nicola? Is it okay? Tracy's not here, is she?
Yeah,
So
I'm missing the little booklet, and the booklet is quite key to show you how to use it.
You just give me a second then, and I will grab that for you.
So what we're going to do,
put it open, though,
I'll show you what this looks like. So you've got your builder blocks here. So the original builder blocks contain squares, half square triangles and quarter square triangles. If you caught me on the Facebook Live this week, I went through the builder blocks to tell you all the sort of different ones that you can use. So we're basically going back to that. Now these are copper coloured, so they're multimedia dies, which means that we're going to be cutting multiple layers of fabric, which is absolutely key for when you're going to be making quilts, because you want to cut lots and lots of shapes. So you can see these squares. Thanks very much, Debbie. You can see we've got some squares here. That's a smaller one here. So the size that we're going to be using is this one, because that takes into account a 1/4 inch seam allowance that goes all the way around the outside. But you could look at that and think, oh, well, that looks like the right one. It's not, because you're going to be losing that 1/4 inch seam allowance. So that is the size that we're going to use. You always do need to be aware of your 1/4 inch seam allowance, because that is what we use all the time. So we're going to be using that square. I'm going to pop this back, and you have a little road map here with a little plan at the top of each of these these little drawers that have got your shapes in, and it tells you what sizes everything is. Now, when you get your little book, Rhonda, have you got a question?
I just wanted to know if that's the 3.5 inch square.
It is the 3.5 inch square. Yeah, it is.
Thank you.
Thank you. And we're going to use the 3.5 inch half square triangle as well. So we're going to look through the little booklet to show you what you're going to be getting here. This shows you how to cut everything out. So we talk about the grain line. The fabric needs to run straight. So you don't want to be cutting everything at an angle. You want to be cutting it nice and straight. And it'll show you step by step all the little... Actually, this is totally different paper this is printed out on. It must be a brand new one. This is, and it shows you all the different shapes you can make and different designs. So this is what we're going to be doing today, which is called the Hunter Star. So I know for a 12-inch block, I need 4 3.5 inch squares, and I need 24 3.5 inch half square triangles in various colours. So I just tend to have a little piece of paper and I write down how many of each colour I need to cut out. I always cut too many, I always try and cut 1 or 2 more, just because if I drop one on the floor or it gets sort of chewed up with the sewing machine, I've got that option of using some other things. So I need to find my 3.5 inch half square triangles. So my half square triangles are down at the bottom. 3.5 inch is, it's got a little bit, sometimes these get jumbled up, unfortunately. Yeah, it has been used, hasn't it? There we go, I've tidied that up. This isn't actually mine. This is the one that I borrowed from the studio, because I didn't want to bring mine up, because it takes up too much space in my hand luggage. My hand luggage, it sounds like I'm flying, I'm not flying. Right, so we've got 1/4 square triangles in there. So we want our 3.5 inch, which is this one here. So if I look at my little booklet, that is, which one are you? You're this one over here. So you can see that is my 3.5 inch square triangle. If I put it over there, you can see how that just goes around the edge of that triangle there. So I'll pop those, I'll tidy all that up a little bit later. Right, so let's put these all to one side under here. We are going to be using the original and the Build Book Plus as well a little bit later, but for this one we're just going to use that square and half square triangle. There we go, just pop those underneath. There we go. So I know I want 1, 2, 3, 4 of these squares, and I'm going to be using this red. Then I'm going to be using 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of these triangles in that red. And then I'm going to be using the other fabrics in those triangles. But I want to start off with the red. So I'm going to cut the triangles and the squares at the same sort of time using my Gemini. So I'm going to pop that over the side. Now I've given this a quick iron, and I will iron it again, because what I want to do is I want to maximise my fabric here. So I'm just going to pop this, let's just have a look here. So I can see that is going to do one of my squares. So if I fold this up like this, I'll do a little bit more here, and I'm just going to fold this piece of fabric up like that, and then I can do that piece there. Okay, so that's going to do 4, and then if I pop that there, in fact if I put it round about here, that means I can cut my fabric down here, I can run that through the Gemini and cut it like that, and then I can flip that over and cut that other section of triangles, and it saves me a little bit of fabric. Now I've got this little strip here, which I'm not going to cut into, I'm just going to cut that off because I might use that for something else. So I don't know how much I'm going to need of all of these fabrics, so I just want to be as frugal as possible when I'm cutting them out. So you want to use your fabric plates with these. Your fabric plates are your metal plates that come separately from your normal Gemini machine. They are labelled A and B. She says picking up only A. Where are you? They're quite thick. Trying to find why I've only got one fabric plate here. Yeah, that banging, that is me. I've only got one fabric plate here. That's a bit weird. They should be in here. I just wonder where they've been popped. Oh, look, they've been popped. No, been popped in the wrong place, because they look like a metal shim at first glance, and then you realise they're not a metal shim. Hold on. No, we could use I can use the Gemini plates if we can't find them. We're just missing one plate. I don't understand where that's gone. Never mind. So I'm going to use the small ones, yeah, which it doesn't matter because we're only cutting, we've only got 2 shapes at a time, so we can't fill up the whole of our plate with all of the shapes anyway. So it's not a major issue. So we're just going to pop that on there. What I will do though is I'm just going to pop that here and then that one there, so you can see how I'm popping that together. So I'm just going to use the Gemini Junior fabric plates at the moment. Now I always tape my dies onto my actual plate as well, rather than just onto the fabric. Pop those like that. And then we're going to run that through the Gemini. Is it on? Oh, Nicola, ye of little faith. So with these multimedia dies, you're able to cut 6 to 8 layers of normal cotton fabric. Now this is a little bit thicker because it's a brushed cotton. You'll still be able to cut, I'd say, 6 layers of fabric. So we've got 4 here, and that's no problem at all. So I'm going to take that big square off, and then we've got our triangles there. And because we are trying to minimise the amount of wastage, if I just flip that triangle die there, you can see we're taking full use of all of that fabric. Just here, and again, run it through Gemini. Becky, come on. There you go. So we've got those ones up here.
Turn the machine to yourself.
Sorry?
Just turn the machine round to yourself. It
I
don't
should do,
matter.
shouldn't I? Why am I doing it like that?
We think because we have to do it back, you know, like. With,
I know.
Yeah, just turn it to
Isn't
make
it
it
funny
easy
that
for yourself.
we make ourselves... Do you know, I was using the Gemini at home, and I had the Gemini like that. I'm thinking, why? Why? Why am I doing this? I don't understand.
Yeah,
Silly,
just turn it right.
silly
It don't
woman.
have, the Gemini tool doesn't have to be on camera all the time. You can turn it and make it happy, make it work for you.
So that is your wastage from that. So very little amount of wastage. If you're cutting with a rotary cutter, it would have been more wastage. Now, we don't need the square anymore because we're not going to cut anymore, but we've got our squares and we've got our triangles here. Now, we want to cut some triangles with this fabric as well. So I'm just going to continue with this. I want 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I want 8 again. So we're going to do it in the same way as we did before. So we're going to have, this is your snow, no, this is your snow flurry. Is it called a snow flurry? No, it's not snowflakes and grey. It is grey, but it's not snowflakes, is it?
Oh, I thought it was
No,
snowflakes.
it's just spotties. I thought that was snowflakes.
Ah, right. So that's a good one. It's snowfall.
Snowfall.
It's the snowfall on.
It's a snowfall.
Yeah, it's a
If you
snowfall one.
tumble. It's it was a team effort.
All already available on the website. Louise and Irene. You can check out all them details on the bottom there.
Right, we're going to do the same thing as we did this last time, but we want 2 sets of triangles. So we want triangle here, and then we want to do a triangle that way as well. So we want to cut a piece of fabric roughly that kind of size. Again, I'm going to cut that strip off because I want to try and save that. I might want to use that for a bit of sashing or something similar. So that can go through my Gemini. Again, using my plates, pop that there with the die down. Okay. And then through the Gemini.
Yes, Becky. Just honestly, make it work.
How long did that take me to work out? I don't know. Okay, you're going to hear that bang because I automatically get everything lined up in a right angle. I always do it. I try very hard not to, but I always end up doing it that way. And we're going to do the same with this one over here. I'm even remembering to flip and rotate my plates. I'm very impressed with myself. She would be proud. It's one of those things that I always forget to do, particularly at home. Okay, then we've got these ones here. So we've got 8 of those. And now we want to do exactly the same with the last piece of fabric, which is the houses on silver. Is it houses on silver?
I think. Let me just have a little look at my little notes. Yeah. Is it the snow day houses on silver?
There's 2 with like a village scene, isn't there? And one's got much larger houses than the other. So we're going to have that. We're going to do that one again, and we're going to do. Let's do it that way, and then we can do it that way. And across here, and then across down here. Again, we're just saving that little scrap of fabric. It's such pretty fabric. I don't want to waste any of it at all. So again, so this activity of cutting your fabric, I found so boring. When, I mean, you might be finding it really boring now watching me, but I used to find it really boring if I had to do this by hand. And I love the fact that it takes no time at all to cut everything out. And so pop it through your Gemini again.
How many are you putting at a time, Becky?
I'm only doing 4 at a time because I actually want 8 in total, but I want to maximise the space I've got.
Yes.
So, I mean, you might want to, I'm only doing 1 block at a time. You might want to plan all of your blocks in one go, so you're cutting out multiple layers and multiple shapes in one pass of your machine. But we're not doing it that way. We're going to concentrate on 1 block at a time. So again, pop it through the machine. And then let's put those two pieces to one side. And once again, we're ending up with very small amounts of wastage of your fabric, which I think is a huge bonus. There we go.
Questions while you're doing it
Of course,
as well.
yeah.
Because Stephanie Theodos has said, are all the fabrics Becky is using smooth cotton?
They're all brushed cotton.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're all brushed cotton today, which is why I'm saying about using this as a as a bed runner, because they are beautiful. Now, unfortunately, I've only got the thread I've got in my machine is orange, which is a bit of a pain, but it doesn't matter because we can work by that. So we've got all of these shapes now. So I'm going to pop those red ones to one side, and I know I'm just going to try and work out what colours I'm going to use. So I'm going to potentially look this one here. Which way around am I going to do this? And then I want a red here. So I'm going to map everything out on my board here to see what I've got. So I've got my red square up here. I've got that here. I do, Nicola, when I'm quilting, I do normally lay everything out. Now, if you're a fan of Kay Fassett, who's a textile designer, he has a wall. K-A-F-F-E and a Fassett. He has a wall which is sticky, a bit like a post-it note kind of wall, and he does all of his plans on the actual wall, so you can step back and have a proper look. And I really sort of admire everything he does. He's very, very cool. Then you can pop that here, and I'm just building up this pattern. So I'm going to be popping that one over here, then that one is a red.
They've got lots of lovely comments coming in. I'm loving how you're putting it together. I get mesmerised a little bit, and I stop talking every time. You're hooking me in, Becky.
Am I?
Me in.
Excellent.
I'm looking at it, thinking, God, look how easy that is to put together that beautiful pattern.
You're going to be sewing. You're going to be doing the sewing shows.
Am I going to be what?
You're going to be doing the sewing shows.
No, I'll stick to this side. Yes, I'll stick to this side. I'll come and do it when you're in, but yeah. I've had another question while you're quickly doing that.
Yeah, of course.
Stephanie's also put, do we need different fabric cutting plates for the Gemini 2, or will the original cutting plates work in the Gemini 2?
They will. So if you want to use, if you don't have the fabric plates, I would recommend that you buy them if you can. But if you don't have them, you can use your white plates and then these two plates as well. So pretty much like I was doing with the felt earlier on today, you have your white plate, you have this, you have your fabric and your dye on top of that, you have that frosted plate over the top and then your white plate over the top of that. The only thing is, I mean, as you can see, you get lots of marks on this straight away. I would say if you're going to be using the builder block and you're going to use them regularly, it's worthwhile investing in those thick metal
fabric plates. Yeah.
If I show you these, so these are the junior ones. Cast on, it's quite difficult for me to bend it. Whereas that one, so there's a big difference.
Yeah, there's a difference.
And I use these. I use these for papercraft as well. They're called a wobble board or something like that, I think, aren't they?
Yeah.
It's something similar to that. Right, so I'm going to just keep on building this up so you can see at the design I've got here. Like that, and then the way I'm doing this is I'm looking at my original design, which is just to the side of me. But you could be looking at your little booklet that you get in with your Gemini builder block. So we're just putting them all in the right place, so we know what we've got everywhere. So we've got this one over here, and then we want that one there, and then we want this one here, and then that one down here. Got big square at the bottom. So basically the squares form those corners of your quilt or your block.
Oh yeah, I can see that now.
Yeah, it makes sense now.
Yeah,
putting it all together
now.
like
Yeah,
this.
I can see it coming. Yes, it's lovely.
So if you've got, I haven't ended up cutting extra of my pieces of fabric because I'm conscious about how much fabric I'm going to use.
Yeah.
But I would normally cut a few extra just so I've got extra. But you know, if you do make a mistake and you need some extra pieces of fabric, it's only going to take you a matter of seconds to cut more out. So let's be honest, you know, we've all got the time to be able to do that. So that one goes like that. So you can see you've got that pretty star. Now what we want to do is we want to start stitching everything together. And the first thing we're going to do is stitch together is we're going to stitch together all of these half square triangles. And I'm going to do something called chain stitching. So I'm going to put them through the sewing machine and I'm not going to stop. I'm just going to line up the next one, and so I'm going to stitch them all in a long chain, and then I'm going to cut them off to save a bit of time. So as I put them together, you'll notice with the triangles, we don't have points going right to the end. We've cut off what we call our dog ears. So when you put these two things together and you stitch them together, normally you'd have a little bit of excess fabric at the end of each of these points that we'd want to trim off to reduce the bulk in the quilt, but you don't have to worry about that because it's really been taken into account. So I'm going to stitch this along with my 1/4 inch seam allowance, and then I'm going to do all of these all in a row. I'm just going to do all of these, and then I'm going to iron them and get them all pressed together.
I did wonder about that shape of the builder block with the little squares on corners. Now that makes absolutely perfect sense.
And that is the brilliant thing about the builder block, because it's been taken into account we try to make it as easy as possible for you to make sure that you can put everything together really quickly. So stitching almost to the end and going back and forth, and then I'm going to pick up another set of triangles. So you just do one at a time and then put... Well, I'm not taking it off the machine. I'm just going to stop, and then I'm going to carry on stitching across. So I'm just lining up, just pushing up or butting up my last triangle with my new triangle. Yeah. And then it's just going to feed that through, back and forth a couple of times. And I'm going to do that with all of these triangles. Ah! So actually I'll start over here, then I'm all in the right angle. So putting my triangles together and then stitching.
So while you're doing that, I'm going to read a few comments. Keep the camera on our lovely Becky, though. I can just read these comments out, because this, Teresa has said on YouTube, Teresa Chalmers has said, afternoon all, just tuning in now, and I cannot believe how much Becky has done already. That builder block system really speeds things up, and it really does speed things up. It makes it so easy to cut into and cut those multiple layers. It's a very clever system that's been put together to make your life easier, and that's why Becky has done as much as she's done already, which I think is fabulous. Lisa T has popped on here from YouTube. She has the builder blocks but's never used them. Do you know what, Tina?
Oh, get them out.
Lisa? It's time to get them out and use them right now during the Craft Along show. Rach put, I love Kathy too. I'm assuming that's the person that you was talking about.
Yeah, Kaif,
sorry.
yeah.
I don't know why I read Kathy.
I have to say Kaif is one of my favourite fabric designers.
I'll have to have a little nosy, because I'm not sure of his work.
It's very brightly coloured, lots and lots of florals, and he is prolific. So he and his partner Brandon just create the most beautiful, I mean, if you like colour, Kaif is, an absolute dream, because everything is full of colour and texture. They do knitting, they do tapestry, they do embroidery, they do fabric design, they do needlepoint. I mean, when you if you get the opportunity to have a look at their house online I think it's in Islington, it is just a riot of colour. Wow. There's colour everywhere, and they have these beautiful cushions. And for most people, they might just have one of these beautiful cushions on a sofa, but their sofas are covered in them. Yeah. It's just an absolute riot of colour. It is beautiful, very, very nice.
I'll definitely have to have a little look, because I love colour. I don't know if you've noticed, I like a bit of colour. So I do love a bit of colour, so I'll definitely be looking and having a little look at that. I've had another question about the dies, the builder block, from Kathy Myers. Yeah. She's asked if these will work with your paper craft as well. So do you have an opinion on that one, Becky?
They will. I mean, you'll be able to cut the shapes, but you couldn't put them together in the same way. If you wanted to make like a patchwork kind of made out of card, you wouldn't be able to do that very easily with these, because we've already taken into account the 1/4 inch seam allowance. Yeah. So when you got the shapes, you try to butt them up to each other, they wouldn't quite work. Yeah. But if you wanted to cut squares and triangles and all those sorts of things, bear in mind these triangles do have that little sort of piece taken off the very end of them. You can absolutely use them, and they're made, they're multimedia dies. They're made to cut thicker fabrics, like card or multiple layers of fabric. Tweed, denim, those will all work in here. Leather will work in here as well. But obviously, if you're going to be making a patchwork out of leather, you could absolutely do it with this, but you would need to have a very strong sewing machine to stitch it together, or you have to you use like a hole punch to punch all the holes in order for you to stitch everything through. But yeah,
fabulous. Thank you very much for that. Because we do have multi-craft dies, nesting dies, don't we, that you can
We do.
multi-craft with?
Yeah, we've got squares, triangles, circles and hearts. Yeah. And they work very, very well together as well. Okay, right, now we've done all of the triangles. And we've got them in a great big long line. So it's almost like bunting. So now what we're going to do is we're going to cut them up, and then we're going to fold them out and we're going to iron them. Now when you iron them, you want to iron them so the darkest fabric is where your seam is. So we're going to fold it. I'm just going to do it by finger at the moment like this. So you can see it's like that, so it's slightly hidden. Some people do separate out their seam. So they sort of will separate it out so it's, one side is on one side, it's like that, opened up like that. I don't do that, I do it like this. But you do what works for you. So I'm just going to finger press down here. I'm going to give everything an iron in just a moment. So we'll have to work out where everything goes in a minute, because obviously I've stitched all of these together, but it saves a bit of time doing it this way, and it won't take too long to find out where we pop all of these different shapes. And then it's a question of stitching everything together in a long line. So I'll open that one out, and we're going to finger press that. Like that, there we go. And these ones, just doing that exactly the same way, just folding them out, finger pressing them. Gosh, this fabric's lovely to work with. It's so nice and soft. There we go. Just folding that down, like that. Do a few more. You can see if you were going to be making this from scratch, you were going to be using a template to cut these out. You couldn't cut more than 2 layers of fabric at any one time, and each triangle would be obviously three cuts. So inevitably it would take twice as long, 3 times as long, 4 times as long maybe. It would take a great deal more time to cut all these out than it does at the moment. So we're just folding these all out now. And then we're going to get these a bit of an iron now. So after we've ironed these, I think we'll probably go for a break before I start stitching them together so people can see. So we're just going to iron that, give everyone an opportunity to catch up if they are stitching away. There we go. So we've got those ones. I'm going to pop them to one side.
Teresa Chalmers is saying that's a good tip about having the seams folded behind the darker fabric.
Yeah, that's what is worth doing. Like I say, some people sort of separate out their seams and flatten them equally on either side. I don't tend to do that, but you can do. I was looking at someone's work. They were doing some hand quilting the other day, and they always do that. They separate everything out. But that was their first quilt they'd ever made, and they were doing it all by hand, which I thought was really impressive. They've got bitten by the bug. So I think when I saw them, they just started, and when I saw them 2 weeks later, not only had they finished that one, they'd already almost finished another quilt, like a table, like a wall hanging kind of size. So not big enough to go on a bed, but they've been bitten by the bug, bitten by the quilting bug. There we go. So you can see here, we've got all of those nicely ironed up.
Helen Montgomery is putting, Becky, this is a fascinating process. Your demo is very helpful.
Oh, that's good. I'm glad people are enjoying it. Actually, that one goes there.
I'm engrossed. I'm going to tell you that. We're going to have to check in with our lovely Rhonda in a minute, because I'm engrossed. And in the background, I know you guys won't be able to hear, but in the background we can hear sewing machine going mad.
Really?
In the background, so I can hear she's busy sewing there as well.
Just making sure I'm getting everything in the right place before I put it together. So now I want one of you here, and then I want that one there. Do I want that one there? No, I don't want that one there. I want that one there. Like that. Then I want this one like this, and then that one like that. There you go. So you can see it coming together again now. And then we've got the other ones. I'm just going to make sure I've got everything in the right place before I stitch it together. So I don't want to find that I'm in a bit of a mistake. We've got that one there. Then we have this one. Is that right? No, that's not right, Becky. Okay.
For you. Yeah, for you.
Oh.
Are both patchwork systems on the website today? We'll go and have a little look for you. We will go and have a little look for you, and that's from Rita Jackson on YouTube. Rita Hangfire, as if by magic in the background, my lovely producer is going to find out for you and check that website out. Ah. Ooh, so I'm going to say go over to Shop the Day, because we do have the original builder block system in stock. We've got the alphabet and numbers in stock. We've got the extended, expansion pack squares is in stock. And there's quite a few other items in there that you can go and have a little look at as well. And go and check them out, because some of those might be already in that £250,000 event that's going off, where we're giving away. Oh, I still can't believe when we say it, £250,000.
No, it doesn't make any sense to me.
It doesn't make
It's
any
bonkers.
sense to me, because it's our celebration, but we'll give it again. We always do. We pass on them celebrations to you guys who are watching. So definitely go and check that website out. So I hope that's helped a little bit there for you, Rita.
So
Becky.
I've stitched those together, so I know I've got everything in the right place now, and now it's a question of going to start sewing everything together. So I want to sew these two pieces together first of all, and then I want to add those. So I'm going to sew in lines going along, and then once I've sewn all of those lines, I'm going to then press everything, and then I'm going to sew line or row to row afterwards, and we're going to get that complete finished block. But
So do you feel ready for a break?
I think, yeah, that gives people the time to catch up if they are crafting along.
Yes, because I think you have in the 40, in fact, you know, to be fair, Becky, I didn't talk until about 15:15. So we're talking half an hour, you've created all of that already.
Yeah.
And I think that in itself is absolutely amazing. And from a craft along point of view, thank you so much, but we'll give you a little bit of a breather, and we'll give you guys a little bit of time to catch up as well. Can we have a little check-in with Rhonda and see how she's doing? Is that possible? Is our Rhonda there? We're just waiting to catch up. Hi Rhonda, are you there?
I'm here.
How are you doing? Are you doing okay? Thumbs up.
Well, I just got everything cut out,
Yeah.
and it was confusing putting it together.
Is there anything you needed to recap on?
No, I just did something wrong and had to go back and do it again, of course.
Oh, bless you.
It's always the way.
And that's what I get for not being as prepared as I normally am.
Well, I think it's a good thing, Rhonda, because let's be honest, sometimes when not sometimes, whenever we work, things go wrong. I mean, not for me, obviously, nothing ever goes wrong for me. If you didn't watch the show this morning, go back. It's worth a giggle. Things go wrong. Sewing machines stop working, they get jammed up, there's all these sorts of things that happen. I think it's one of those, I'm sure you'll agree with me, Rhonda. The thing is, by using the builder block, if you do make a mistake, it only takes a few moments to recut everything, which I think makes a big difference. I think if I had to cut everything by hand and something went wrong, I'd be more likely just to give up, because you just think, oh, I don't want to go through all that hassle of cutting everything all over again. So it's quite nice to have the time to sort of catch up. Well, that works out fine then. So if we can give Rhonda the time to catch up as well, then we can have a little break.
Rhonda, what I'll say is we'll give you that little bit of time to catch up as well. Shall we go to a break, guys? I think this is the right time just to slow things down a little bit, give you that time to catch up. Maybe you've got a few things in your basket that you want to check out as well. So this is the perfect opportunity. So whatever it is you need to do, go ahead and do it, but come back and join us in a couple of seconds. Here's a little VT for you.
What makes Crafters TV so special is you guys.
It's really special because the experts are really experts. They're really skilled at what they do, and they want to make sure that the audience also improves on their skills.
Crafters TV is so special because you've got together a really sort of key group of people and people that are very passionate about the products.
Crafters TV is so special because it's a unique community that we have with each other, where we can learn and grow and communicate with each other.
Community, the family spirit, the education, everything to do with craft. We are all like-minded people who share a passion.
I love all the inspiration the demonstrators bring and all the knowledge for us out here.
What makes Crafters TV so special? 100% it's the interaction. No other crafting TV channel or show has the same interaction.
I love the community, I love chatting live, I think that's the best part, and it's gone beyond crafting because we've become friends.
It feels to me to be a really, really close relationship with our customers and viewers.
You guys make us feel like we're part of your family. I've never been on the show before, but one of my friends who I did meet from CCTV encouraged me, and I was on the craft along.
A massive team of people, and I think they've all got their role to play, and it just brings everything together. It allows us to do our job and just love it.
The people, obviously, the people not just here at Crafters Companion, but the viewers that watch us. I mean, everybody. We have this real magical essence about it.
Bye for now. Bye.
Here at Crafters TV, it couldn't be easier to get your hands on the latest crafty must-haves. Leave the hard work to us while you shop from the comforts of your own living room. Head to the Crafters Companion website to see our full crafty range, or hit the Shop the Day button to see all the new and exciting products featuring on Crafters TV. Once you've filled your cart, leave it to us to get your crafty goodies to you in super quick time, so you can get on with being creative. Crafters Companion, making crafty shopping a breeze.
It's the Crafters TV 4th anniversary from the 5th till the 11th of September, and here's 4 great reasons why you need to tune in. Number 1, all your favourite shows with all your favourite experts and presenters, plus loads of brand new launches. Number 2, double points for all Club Inspire members. Number 3, chances to win vouchers to spend on the Crafters Companion website. And number 4, a free gift of a Crafters TV crystal pen. So join us from the 5th till the 11th of September for the Crafters TV 4th anniversary.
Welcome to Crafters TV. With more than 35 hours of live shows each week, it's your home for all things craft. We shine the spotlight on new and innovative crafting products with live tutorials and demonstrations. Join our family of craft experts where fun happens every day.
Are we in trouble or are we all right?
Yeah.
Should be coming in. Should be coming. What does she do? Exactly how he looks.
This is awesome! This is awesome!
Get creative and craft along. With our amazing deals, your next craft project is just a click away. Tune in live 7 days a week, or you can watch us on Catch Up at crafterscompanion.com, Facebook, or our YouTube channels. You can chat to us, craft along, and meet new friends by joining our online crafting community.
And I watch you every day, and it's just what really gets you through when you're really at rock bottom.
There's a show for every type of crafter, from first-time dabblers to full-time makers. Crafters TV, create every day.
Welcome back to nearly an hour into our craft along with our lovely Becky making this fabulous run, and I can't believe how much she's got done as well. Of course, we've got our fabulous guest Rhonda, which we'll go back and nip in and see her in a few moments. Well, in a little while, we'll give her time to catch up. Talking of the items that our Becky is using, I just wanted to give a little nod and a little mention to the Builder Block, the original. If you go over to the website and shop the show, you will actually see this with a 25% discount on this particular item, and this is the original. And we did say the plus was on there as well, didn't we? We said the plus is out there. Oh, is it out of stock? Sorry. The original Builder Block system is in stock. As you can see on the screen, it's £74.99 or $104.96, and then you're going to discount your membership. So if you are Club Platinum, you'll pick this up for a penny less than £60 and $83.97. Of course, double points running across the 4th year anniversary for any item that you are buying between now until the end of the event. So absolutely incredible, and it really is a fantastic system. And Becky, in the break, Becky's giving me loads of samples of the kind of thing, and I'm trying to think now which is which, because we've got a bit of both on the Builder Block. Bit of both.
Basically, that would be a bit of both. That is the
bit of both.
Plus and the original.
There's some lovely thing. The amount, I mean, this is just a little original. Literally, just lots of different patterns that you can be doing that I'm just going to quickly show you before we throw back to our Becky. There's so many. I can't get over how many there actually are. Is this one of the originals?
Yeah, that's an original.
Perfect. This is similar to. Is this similar to what you're doing now?
Yeah, that's the same. Yeah.
So honestly, these are fabulous, and I mean there are just loads in here of like literally of squares of different types of combinations that you can be doing with the original Builder Block. I mean, it'd take me the rest of the hour to get through all of those. We do also have. Is it the alphabets that we've got? Yeah. So we do have another one that's got an incredible saving as well, which is the Builder Block, and it is the alphabet and numbers, where you've got everything in there. I mean, I love this system. Even though I'm not a sewer, I've always loved this system because of how easy it is to make all these fabulous things.
It is.
Now, and as an example, Becky, because you've given me one, can I show them?
Yeah.
Because I thought Becky had done this. This is amazing. So I'm going to show you, because, you know, we're in the break and we're going, this is awesome. I was doing this. This is awesome. Because this is awesome. Look at this. This is amazing. I mean, oh God, hang on a minute.
It's that big.
It's going on and on and
Where's
on.
Debbie gone?
Do you know what? This would make a fantastic blanket.
Yeah. You can't take it home.
Can I take it home?
No, you can't.
Oh, I love it. I'm going to have to go out and buy it, aren't I? Is that the price on the screen? $52.49 or $67.46? Saving 25%, but look at the purple box. I think I might actually get one of these. I think if anything inspired me to get back into some sewing, this would be one. Because personalisation.
Yeah.
And I just think it's absolutely fabulous. £41.99 or $53.97. I'm going to take it off because I'm a bit warm actually. I nearly sent my temperature right through the sky then. But how incredible is that you can be creating something like that with those systems. Head over to that Shop the Day show where you could be making something like that yourself. Personalise it for your grandkids or your kids. Oh, seriously, absolutely. I think that's a definite must-have in anyone's crafty stash if you are into your sewing as well. Now, we've had a little picture in. Our radical Rachel is looking after us today with our social media questions and comments. She sent a picture in. Do you want to have a little look at some of her work?
That's nice.
Look at this. Oh my God. Is that a cafe inspired?
It's they're cave facet fabrics in that one.
Are they?
Yeah, that's lovely.
Rachel, that's beautiful. It's big.
It's really big.
It is really big.
It's something you can easily achieve by using the Builder Blocks, because very quickly you can make 12-inch blocks and then put them all together and then you're done. So it's really easy.
Wow.
Makes it easy. I love that. That's beautiful. Well
yes,
done, Rach.
thank you very much, Rach, for sharing that as well. One quick question before we head back over to you, because Tim on YouTube, Tim C on YouTube has said, if you don't have a sewing machine, Becky, would it be best to do back stitch running or cross stitch with double thread?
I would do back stitch running to put that together. I mean, one of the things with doing it by hand, I always think when I'm stitching by hand, I tend to move the fabric a little bit more than I would do on the sewing machine. So it's really, really important that you're cutting it with your grain line in the right place. But obviously when you're using the Gemini, you'll be able to cut everything easily. I would, when you're not using them, I'd use some of my quilting clips just to keep them together, so they don't move around in the box or wherever you use them, because obviously it's going to take you a little bit longer to stitch them by hand. But yeah, let us know when you make something by hand. It was always nice to see.
Yeah, absolutely. So thank you very much for that, Becky. Now, I'm going to fire back straight to you because I think we need to get on with this craft along.
Okay.
So, Becky, if you're ready, keep the comments coming in. Any questions? Absolutely. Send them through. Rachel will send them through to me via this lovely little modern technology that I've got beside me that's actually working for the show.
That's good.
So, yeah, send those comments in. But we're going to head back over to our Becky, who's going to continue with her fabulous project.
Okay, so what we're going to do now, we're going to put these two together now, and then we're going to attach those two. We're just going to work down in rows. So I'm going to put those down here. I'm just going to match those up like that, and you can see they're all matching perfectly. We've got all of those squares, all those triangles making those squares matching perfectly. 1/4 of an inch seam allowance, and we're going to stitch back and forth a couple of times at the beginning and the end. And we're just going to work our way through these rows until we're finished. I'm going to fold that out. I'm going to just do that with my fingers, and then I'm going to take that one, place it here, stitch that together, and then I'm going to give everything an iron once all the rows have been completed. There we go. So that is that one, and then this one here goes across there, and then that is that first row done. Okay. So row 1, done. Row 2, you can do exactly the same, 2 middle ones together.
I am super impressed, Becky, super impressed, let me tell you.
Well, I want to see you sewing. That's what I want.
Do you know, I'd been saying it. Do you remember when Bernie used to work with us?
Yeah.
Bernie would always say, Debbie, I'm going to get you into a little bit of sewing, because I kept saying I want to get back into it. It's just finding the time, Becky.
I know.
Because we're so busy on the paper crafting side, and then obviously in between I do like to see my grandkids and my family. So yeah, it's sometimes difficult, but you're just inspiring me beyond inspiring me. I can't tell you how easy you're making this look. I think everyone's in agreement as well.
Well, I think if you've got something that doesn't take too long to do, no. So if you've eradicated the actual cutting out, and then this bit is something you could feasibly do, isn't it?
Yeah.
But you're right. We all run out of time, don't we? You know, time is the most sort of precious commodity we have, and I never seem to have time. If I've got time if I've got time when I'm not working, I'm normally asleep.
Yeah.
There's not really. I'm either really, really busy or fast asleep. There's no sort of happy medium for me. There we go. Or eating chocolate whilst asleep. Okay, just around here. Going to do a couple more. So I've almost done the second row. And obviously, you know, if you don't want to do something with lots of points, because points are tricky, getting all those points right and matching, you could choose something that's just squares. So in those builder blocks, the original, you've got squares, half square triangles and 1/4 square triangles, and in the builder block plus you've got rectangles, isosceles triangles and half rectangle triangles. So if you just wanted to do something with squares and rectangles, you absolutely could do. And in fact, one of the other blocks that we've got on the in the quilt is just that. So if you wanted to follow exactly the blocks I'm doing, this would probably be the last one I would do, because it's got so many points in it. But the first one I would do with the one next to it, which is the one that's got rectangles and squares inside it. So this one here, just working our way through.
Rachel's popped on here. Thank you for the lovely comments. I really need to finish this with a little laughy face.
How long's Rachel been working on it? That's what I want to know.
And do you know what as well, I was just thinking, because seriously, Rachel's got a youngster, a little 1-year-old. And,
really?
And I did tell her, I sent her one back, a little message saying that I thought it was finished and it's absolutely beautiful. And she said she's got a bit more quilting to do on it, binding and the edges, but with the 1-year-old, it's finding the time. She said it's not happening anytime soon.
Oh, that's always tricky, isn't it, finding a bit of time. Right, I ran out of thread in my bobbin, so I'm just going to pop this other one in.
I'm in agreement as well with a lovely comment that Teresa Chalmers has put on YouTube, where she's put, I could watch Becky sewing for hours. You and me both. You and me both, Teresa, because I'm mesmerised by what she's doing.
Is that because it's really boring?
The fact that it's what?
Is that because it's really boring?
No, it's absolutely fascinating watching how you're putting it together.
I've got a friend who sometimes watches me on TV, and he said I sometimes put you on at night because it helps me fall asleep. Because it's non-threatening, it's not like watching a film. Like if you're going to stop off to sleep, you watch something that perhaps you've watched loads of times before, or something that is without any kind of what do they call it when they do the children's, without mild terror? Like I tend to watch episodes of Friends because it's just easy. I know it's just I'm not going to have to think too much about it. And he said, oh yeah, it's great. I listen to you talking or sewing, and he said it helps me fall off to sleep. And then he said it like he was really proud of it. So I was like, I can't really be insulted, because as far as he was concerned, it was a compliment. But I did think. So if I am putting anyone to sleep, I do apologise. And if I am putting
You're not putting anyone to sleep, Becky, let me tell you. But Valerie Persini on YouTube says, I think it's incredibly hard to be doing this and talking. Becky, you are fantastic.
My mum says, well, it must be very difficult, you talking and sewing at the same time. But then again, you don't ever stop talking anyway, which is probably quite true. Hi, Mum, if you're watching.
Will she be watching? Does she watch, Becky?
She does generally watch, but it's a Saturday. She might be doing something today. But yeah, she does generally watch. My husband doesn't watch, but I think my niece watched this morning, and my brother-in-law watched, and my niece sometimes watches. So my niece who got married this year, and gorgeous George, did her video. So she turns 40, and she said, please don't talk about me on television, but I said, oh, I have to. She turns 40 at the end of this month, which is quite a shocking thing to think of my little baby niece being 40.
Aww.
Which we delighted me mentioning.
Aww.
Okay, just going to make sure that lines up. We're going to give everything a really good press before we stitch all of those actual rows together.
And Teresa's put on here, it's not boring at all, lots of exclamation marks. It's fascinating, as Debbie said. It is. Do you know what I'm loving? Because obviously I don't get to see you very much, Becky, do your work. To see what you've created in this hour is just, I think it's absolutely incredible. Literally watching it unfold before my very eyes, because you know how much I loved your runner. When you showed it me, I was like, oh my God, are you doing that in 2 hours? Because I was like, that's amazing. But seriously, to get this started, and for anybody asking about the group that Becky does her lives in, it's not Becky Sworn CC that does it. Obviously you do it, Becky, and you are Becky CC, but it's a different group. It's called the Sewing with Crafters Companion.
Yeah.
And Rachel has popped a little link on. I think if I could ask Rachel really nicely again just to pop that link back on there for anybody that's wanting to join you, because obviously this project we can't get done in 2 hours. That would be just crazy to be able to think to get it all together, despite the fact that you've done so much already. But you are going to be doing this, but this week it's going to be on Thursday at 5 p.m. Just so that our lovely Liam can sort out Becky's technical difficulties that she's been having. And you're going to continue that every week until it's done?
Yeah. Basically, it happens every single week. So even if we've had a couple of weeks where, the last 2 weeks actually, we'd already finished the craft along. So last week we did a builder block basics. So we talked about the builder block and the different things you could, how to get it all set up. So hopefully anyone that was unsure, or perhaps has been watching today and is still unsure about how to do it, you can always go back and watch that. And then we did one about getting to know your sewing machine. So I did like an overview about how to set up your sewing machine, what the different feet are called, the different parts of the machine are called. For anyone that's like, you know, super new, who hasn't actually sewn for a while or just wanted a bit of a refresher. So we would, you know, if there's a week where perhaps we don't have any more of the craft along to do, we'll do something else. So if there's any ideas about things people want to see, please do message in and let us know what they are, because that's always quite useful. But yeah, we just sort of let's see what we're going to have a little chat about, really, and what
And how long do they last for your Facebook
normally
lives?
Between half an hour to an hour, something like that.
Yeah. So you don't do the mammoth sessions like me and Craig do?
No. No.
In the middle of the night, Becky, in the middle of the night.
Really?
Yeah, we start, because we start ours after Crafters TV is finished.
Oh, you see, that's my problem. I go to bed at 9:30.
Ah.
So I couldn't do that. So I have to do mine at 5 because I start getting really tired. I'm quite a sleepy person. Right, I've done all those strips now. I'm going to put the strips together. So what I want to do is I want to get my centre seam right and put a pin in there. I'm going to make sure, because sometimes your fabric can stretch a little bit. So this is one of the reasons when we talk about using 100% cotton, it's quite important. You want to use the same kind of fabrics throughout your quilt if you can. So I'm just going to get that all matched up. And then if you find that when you finish the block and it's not quite straight, it doesn't matter because you can just trim the edges. But it should be, provided you use your 1/4 inch seam allowance. Now normally I use a 1/4 inch seam foot on my machine. I haven't got that with me. Do we have a 1/4 inch seam foot in here? Oh.
Ah, right, yes I have. I've got a 3-piece quilting machine feet set.
Okay.
Do these fit on any standard machine, Becky?
They it should have a long might say whether it's a long shank or short shank machine.
Yeah.
So short shanks and long shanks, you just have to check what machine you've got. This one is a short shank. It's to do with the height from the top of this part of the machine down to where you actually stitched. It's that piece here.
And the details for that are right at the very bottom of your screen, where you can see all the details and the pricing on there for that one. But we do have another one, because we've got a sewing machine feet set, number 42, I think it is that. But is that right, Nick? Yeah. Okay, so sewing machine feet set, and the details are they on the bottom of the screen for that one? Thank you very much. And they're the details for the sewing machine feet set. So we do have a couple of little options for you, and of course lots of other things on the website as well. So I would definitely head over to Shop the Day, where you can see all of those details. All half price? Wow! All half price, so take advantage of those savings today, definitely. Oh, Becky, this is beautiful. Absolutely beautiful.
Those ones that right way round. We're going to do the same on that one. So we're going to match up that centre seam just down here, and then we're going to match up these other seams and then stitch it together. Give it a good press. Like that. So 1/4 inch seam foot is what. It's in the sewing set. So that is the one I would use. And that has, you can have different ones. You have ones that have like a little bar at the side, and you basically butt your fabric up against, so you have like, if that's your, this is your foot, you have like a bar that goes over here, so your fabric gets butted up to the side all the time. So you can never, unless you pull the fabric like that, as long as you keep it close, it's always going to be 1/4 inch seam allowance. Or you have other ones that just have like a little marking, a little bar that goes over the top, and you just need to line up the edge of that bar as you're stitching along, but you don't butt it up against your fabric. I find the one that you butt up against is the one I use the most, simply because I can be not concentrating very hard and still manage to sew my 1/4 inch seam allowance without a problem. What I am doing, when I remember, is I'm nesting my my seams. So when I take this off, example down here, where I've got one seam. You see I've got all these different seams here, and it can look a bit bulky. So if I hadn't got that dog ear that's been cut off here, you would have extra bulk that was sticking out here and here. We don't have that, so everything sort of lies a little bit flatter. We want to give it all a good press, just to make sure it's all nice and flat. And then we're going to stitch those two pieces together to create that finished star.
How to, you know, literally cut them out, put them together.
Yeah.
The step-by-step process that you've done, I think it's absolutely fast. I'm telling you now, Becky, I have been fascinated from how this started to what it's looking like right now, and the way that you've put it together. You've made it really, really nice and easy.
Oh, thanks, Debbie.
I genuinely want to get a sewing machine now and start myself.
Just giving that bit of an iron. So you can see around here, I need to sort of trim that a little bit, and that's not a problem. It's one of those things that we know is going to happen. And this has a little bit of a stretch in it, this fabric. Not too much, but it does have a little bit of a stretch, so you just need to be aware when you're using that. So that is then going to match up here. So once again, we find that centre seam. We just line up against that centre seam. Like that. And then we're going to do the other seams over here. This is such beautiful, soft fabric to use. I do really want to have a pair of pyjamas in this.
Yeah. And all of that material is available on the website. It's what we did in the launch show earlier on today on the Softer Side of Life. So you can definitely head over there and find all of those.
It's your grandchildren's Christmas. Do they get pancakes? Do they get pyjamas as their first, you know, their Christmas Eve gift?
Yes, yeah, they get the new pyjamas for Christmas Eve. I think it's tradition, isn't it?
I think so.
I see lots of people, you know, lots of my friends and family and things like that that have like family, so mums, dads, kids, they've all got the same pyjamas on and things. But yeah, that fabric is just beautiful, isn't it? That lovely brushed cotton or flannel is really, really lovely. Very textile, very soft to the touch. So yeah, you can imagine those looking absolutely beautiful. Oh my God.
Another press.
Do you press it every time, Becky, in between?
Yeah, you should. I don't press every single piece I've stitched, but when you're doing like your rows and also sewing everything together, just give it a bit of an iron. There we go. So that is our first block. As you can see, if I flatten it out, it needs a bit of a trim around the edge because the edges aren't quite straight. But that's something that we'll do later. I won't do it now because I've got to travel with this, and it may fray very slightly because it's brushed cotton, so it's got like a wider texture to it. And so it's only when I come to stitch everything together, I'll trim everything up so it's the right size. Yeah. Because I may find that part of the way through doing a quilt, something's not quite right, and I might have to trim everything down slightly more. So it's better to do it all in one go. So that is your first one here. So we're going to get started on the second one in a moment. I'll just clear the decks and get ready to show you how to do the next one.
Well, I'm honestly, I'm blown away with what you've done, and I can't wait to see the next stage literally develop before my very eyes. I'm hoping you're loving this just as much as I am. I've seen some of the lovely comments on here as well, and there's lots of lovely people messaging Becky and saying how lovely and calming you are, lovely calming voice that you've got, and that step-by-step tuition. People are saying that they love the so Tina's mentioned on here she loves the fabric, being able to see what you can do with it is just great. Other comments as well, some really funny things on here, but we'll probably go back to those in a second. But yeah, it's you know, it's looking really lovely, really is. And I've got both of these open at the minute, and I can see the comments flying through from both sides here. So I'm absolutely loving it, and I'm hoping you are too. But I think, so are we okay? Is Rhonda okay for us to go back in and tune in and see how she's doing? So is our Rhonda, are you still with us?
I am.
How are you going with it, my lovely?
I'm with you. Well, I'm not so sure my head's in the game today.
Oh, bless you. Are you having a few problems?
I have everything cut out.
Yeah.
And I put it together and somehow it ended up all wrong and I had to take it out.
Oh.
So I just got done taking it all out again and putting it, but this is what I have.
Oh, that's looking lovely,
Rhonda,
Rhonda.
that's gorgeous. That is beautiful.
It is not sewn together yet.
Doesn't matter, Rhonda, you take your time. That's the thing I've always said about craft-alongs. It is nice to craft along with the expert at the time, but for me, it's all about that participating. It's about taking your time, because we're not expecting anyone to keep, you know, you have to keep up to the exact timings, but I think what you've done there is beautiful, and I can't wait to see that stitched together. Don't be so hard on yourself. You've done a lovely job, a really lovely job, and I love your fabric choice as well. I think those colours are really beautiful.
It's a Halloween thing.
It's a what, sorry?
It's a Halloween theme.
Oh, now you're talking. Now you're talking.
That's why the shirt, see?
It's all right, Rhonda, I'm like miles away from camera and I'm like, do you know what, I'm trying to have a little look.
It's a skull. It's a skull.
Look, coming close so I can see. I might have to go to the big computer. Oh, I can see it now. I can see it. That looks amazing. Absolutely amazing. I love that fabric choice. I think it's absolutely beautiful. So don't be hard on yourself. You've done an amazing job. And for me, you're smashing it, because, my God, I wouldn't even be at that stage, I don't think, by now. But we'll come back and join you in a short while, Rhonda. We're going to take a little short break so Becky can then recap and get on with the next stage. So we're going to take a couple of minutes for you. Anybody who's wanting to get anything from new launches to the fabrics to the builder block system, now's probably the opportunity to go and have a little look on the Shop the Show. Don't forget to keep your comments coming in, because don't forget, at the end of this show, we are going to be, well, I'm going to be writing a name down on one of those stars, and I'll be telling you who is going into that prize giveaway draw that myself and Craig will be doing on Monday. So right now is the opportunity for you to go into whatever it is that you want to do for a couple of minutes, whether it be grab a drink or whatever. You go ahead and do that, but come back and join us for the last part of our craft along with the lovely Becky. We'll see you all in a second.
Welcome to Crafters TV. With more than 35 hours of live shows each week, it's your home for all things craft. We shine the spotlight on new and innovative crafting products with live tutorials and demonstrations. Join our family of craft experts where fun happens every day.
Are we in trouble or are we all right? Should be coming in. Should be coming.
What did she do?
Exactly
what
how
did she do?
he looks.
This is awesome. This is awesome.
Get creative and craft along. With our amazing deals, your next craft project is just a click away. Tune in live 7 days a week, or you can watch us on Catch Up at crafterscompanion.com, Facebook, or our YouTube channels. You can chat to us, craft along, and meet new friends by joining our online crafting community.
And I watch you every day, and it's just what really gets you through when you're really at rock bottom.
There's a show for every type of crafter, from first-time dabblers to full-time makers. Crafters TV, create every day.
Here at Crafters TV, it couldn't be easier to get your hands on the latest crafty must-haves. Leave the hard work to us while you shop from the comforts of your own living room. Head to the Crafters Companion website to see our full crafty range, or hit the Shop the Day button to see all the new and exciting products featuring on Crafters TV. Once you've filled your cart, leave it to us to get your crafty goodies to you in super quick time, so you can get on with being creative. Crafters Companion, making crafty shopping a breeze.
We get to know people from places and walks of life that we wouldn't come across in our everyday life if it wasn't for Crafters TV and doing what we do.
I got so many lovely comments from people when I started doing the presenting, and it was just really such a lovely feeling. And it's nice that people keep messaging in. You know, we see the same people. We know you can build up that kind of relationship with those people. So it's just the fact that people like what we do and they're pleased. And I do love it when people send us photographs of the items that they've made.
We talk about customers, but really they go in as a customer, come out as a friend. The support that I get is amazing. The messages I get are amazing.
Me personally, it is personal interaction. I've never had the best of health. I've always been open about that with our viewers at Crafters TV. So many people are in the same situation as me health-wise. Other people have got a completely different health issues. They understand and they relate to what I'm going through, what others are going through. So whether we interact on a crafting basis or whether we interact on a health basis, a personal basis, we're all there to support one another. It is incredible.
The reaction of viewers when they come to meet us is worth all of the early mornings when we have to get up for our early morning shows.
Some of the customers come on as craft ambassadors and things like that, craft along with us, and being able to actually chat with them on air. Love it. I really love that connection with them.
We've had lots of shows where we've done like craft alongs, especially where we've had viewers craft along with us. We had a particular viewer, Joy, who joined us once before, and she literally made me cry on air, and Joe, because the things she said about us, it really was quite humbling that there are people out there that watch us and invite us into their living rooms and really treat us like family.
It's the Crafters TV 4th anniversary from the 5th till the 11th of September, and here's 4 great reasons why you need to tune in. Number 1, all your favourite shows with all your favourite experts and presenters, plus loads of brand new launches. Number 2, double points for all Club Inspire members. Number 3, chances to win vouchers to spend on the Crafters Companion website. And number 4, a free gift of a Crafters TV crystal pen. So join us from the 5th till the 11th of September for the Crafters TV 4th anniversary.
Welcome back to probably now the very last half hour of our craft along with myself and the lovely Becky and the rest of the team here. I'm just going to give some, I need you to hear some of this. I also need Rhonda to hear some of this because there's lots of love coming through on YouTube and onto Facebook and the comments saying that Rhonda is doing an amazing job, and you need to go back, Rhonda, and look at those comments because they're absolutely lovely. They really are. Becky, I've got a few for you as well, because Sandra Dundas on YouTube says, Becky, I'm impressed how far you have got in just over an hour. Wowzer.
Oh,
and then Rita Jackson on YouTube says, okay, I'm back into the sewing. It's official.
Excellent.
So that's job done for me, because to get inspired into getting out and dusting down your sewing machines is absolutely, for me, perfect. Cindy Conde on YouTube says, this is the first craft along with sewing I have ever seen. She's put motivating me to dust off my sewing machine and get going again.
Oh, brilliant.
I know, I'm loving this. And then Tara Wade on YouTube said, well, I'm not a sewist, but wow, what a beautiful project this is shaping up to be. Becky is amazing, and Debbie, you are simply priceless. Love, CC.
Oh,
isn't that lovely?
that's really nice.
Keep those comments coming in, they're lovely. Share that love. That's a lovely comment. Thank you very much for that, Tara. And for all the love that you're showing to our Rhonda as well, and to Becky's project, because it simply is absolutely beautiful. And I think I'm going to stop talking. Everybody who's commenting, don't forget you're going to be in with that chance. It's going to be coming up very soon, where you can be in with that chance to go into that prize draw for the £200 or $200 giveaway on Monday. So Becky, shall we head back over?
Absolutely. Right, the next one I'm going to do is with using the Builder Block Plus and the original Builder Block. So what I'm going to use is I'm going to use a square from the original Builder Block, and I'm going to use the rectangle from the Builder Block Plus. So I'll show you in here where you've got your designs. So I'm going to do this one. This is your woven blocks. It says here it requires the original builder block system because basically you're going to have some squares and you're going to have some rectangles. I want to do a 12-inch block, so I need 8 3.5-inch squares, which is this one, and I need 4 6.5 by 3.5 rectangles. So I'm going to use my design, which is just out of shot here, so I can work out and make sure I get my colours right. So I'm going to be using, again, I'm going to be using some of my fabric that I've got from the fabric of the month. So I'm going to be using some of that. So I'm going to use this spotty one for the cream parts, and I'm going to be using that for this one and that for that one. So I know I need to cut 2 rectangles in this fabric and 2 in that fabric. I need to cut 2 squares in that fabric and 2 squares in that fabric, and I need to cut 4 squares in this one as well. So I'm going to pop that to one side, and because I'm using my Gemini Junior, I wouldn't be able to fit everything or both of these pieces on at the same time, but it doesn't matter because what we're going to do is we're going to fold the fabric out and make sure I'm minimising the use of, or the wastage here. So I want to just make sure I've got that fabric nicely lined up. So that will do that. So I'm going to cut that with my scissors. And I'm going to cut there. And I'm going to do the same with that other fabric over here, just down there. Oh, a little bit of tape on that. And once again, fold that over. So I want a piece that big, and then that big. Take that out. Make sure I've got the right size. There you go. Just cut that piece of fabric here. And then across there. So that's going to be enough fabric for those 2 rectangles. Then I want some for the squares. So I should be able to do the squares all in one go. So once again, I want 2 in this size fabric. I'll put the fabric on the top. There we go. Can I get a square? I can get a square out of that. Let's get rid of that. Try and use all those little scrappy bits of fabric I've got. I want one of those, and I want one in there.
Gorgeous.
Oh, it's lovely. It's so nice. It makes me want to have a little nap because it's just that super soft fabric. It's really lovely. So we want to cut down here.
And this is still the new fabric from this morning?
It is, yeah.
Fabulous. Head over to that shop, the show, if you want to have a look at those fabrics in more detail. Absolutely beautiful. I love that blue.
It is gorgeous, isn't it? I'm cutting another piece like this. Like that. So I'm just cutting those 4 pieces out quite roughly. And then this bit here, again, I want 4. So I could, 1, 2, 3, 4, I could just cut that like that. Now bear in mind we say you can cut 8 layers of fabric in one go, but we do talk about that's ordinary quilting cotton fabric. So this is thicker than quilting cotton fabric, but should we give it a whirl? See if we can cut 4 in one go. So we've got 4 there, and we've got 4 of the other fabrics. I'm going to put that on there. Let's see if we can go through. I don't think it will, is my personal opinion, because it's quite thick, but we can give it a try. It is going to make quite a big noise as it goes through the machine. Put that just slightly off centre. And then we're going to do the rectangles. So we're using our fabric plates. So we've got fabric plates, white plates, we've got our fabric with our dye, and a bit of tape on there. Then that through the machine. Here it's going through all of that fabric. Oh, it seems to be, might not have cut them all.
Yeah.
Let's see. It's only gone and done it. Oh, not quite. The last one hasn't quite done the last one, but it's 8 layers. We say 6 layers of cotton fabric, and this is the much, much thicker than that. Yeah, it's just the last one it hasn't gone through, but that's fine because I can just cut that because I've even got the imprints. It's only just not managed to do that.
That's pretty amazing.
Actually, it's the last two, but let's be honest. I mean, when I cut cotton fabric, I normally cut 6 layers across, and I don't tend to do 8 in one go. And this is much thicker than ordinary cotton fabric, so I'm just going to trim around there. So if you're going to be using this fabric, you're going to be using flannel or brushed cotton, 6 layers is what you want. So pop that to there. And then we want this one, which is going to have our rectangles on. And we've only got 4 layers of fabric in here, so this should be absolutely fine. No problem at all. Just get that, just to make sure I've got that nice and straight. There we go.
Rachel just sent a question to answer. About naming your sewing machines. Do you have a name for your sewing machine, Becky?
Yes, it's not a name I can have broadcast on air.
You can't
broadcast it on air, no. Because sometimes things go wrong with sewing machines, and I say to my sewing machine, and that's the name of my sewing machine. Could I have a funny? No, I don't. I've never even named my cars.
Me neither.
You know,
I'm not one, because my I get this all the time because people do have nicknames for the cars and the Gemini as well, and I'm like, no, I don't. I don't
either.
They are to me. I don't like a he or a she for a car.
No, my children have named their car Miguel.
Miguel.
I've got no idea why they've called him Miguel. I don't know. So they said to me, "Did you see Miguel outside?" Who? And I think, is this a new neighbour? Is it one of their friends? I was like, I don't know. What does he look like? And they were like, grey and with like golden coloured and small. And I'm like, what? And then they made the the car. No, I don't have a name for my machine. Do you have a name for the machine? Let us know what it is. Michelle, have you got? Not Michelle. Rachel, have you got a name for your machine? Because mine's just fruit.
It's quite interesting, all these kind of things. She's got a right. Okay, we've had an answer back in. She's got a vintage singer called Gertrude.
Oh, okay, interesting. No, I don't think I've ever called anything like that.
So she's got a machine that she uses the most.
Yeah.
And it's called Diva. Now, we're not sure if that's the branded name of the machine or if she's calling it a Diva because it behaves like a Diva. So I personally think it's a nickname for it that she's got that behaves like a diva.
I think you're probably right there.
And Heather Springer on YouTube's put, I name everything, laugh out loud. I named my bathroom gym. So when I say I'm going to the gym, people think I exercise a lot. I like that one. I've had a lot of questions coming in as well, Becky, so I'm going to ask you a few as well whilst you're doing this. So is this pretty much the same way that you're laying it out?
Yeah, so I'm just following the I'm following the little guide that we've got here.
Yeah.
And I would put a post-it note down here and I'd write on here what I was doing. So I'd say, well, I'm going to assume pink is my snowflake fabric, blue is my little house village scene fabric, and the snowfall is the white fabric, so I can easily identify what I'm going to be doing. So that's what I'm doing here. So I'm just lining everything up to make sure I've got the right amount of things here, and I've also got them in the right order, because I don't want to get in a muddle. That is not right, that is there, and then that is there, and then that goes there, so you can see you've got that design. Now the way that we do this one is we will sew these squares together and these squares together and these squares. That's wrong, Becky. 1, 2, 3, hold on a minute, that's not right, that should be like that. That's better. We're going to sew the little squares together first of all. We're going to sew the little squares to the rectangles, and then once we've created this like a quarter, then we're going to stitch those quarters together. So we're going to do these now. But yeah, in exactly the same way as before, when we stitch those triangles together, we're just going to work out the same kind of way.
Lillian Kwok says, Becky, does your machine's name begin with a B?
No, it's even worse than that, I have to say.
Oh dear. We're all going to be guessing now, you know. We're all going to be guessing. Teresa Chalmers on YouTube has put, my sewing machine doesn't have a name, but our car does though. She's called Womble. Oh, not Womby. Womby, sorry, I couldn't read that properly. Womby, not Womble. Oh, dear. Alice Scorig on YouTube has put, totally enjoying the sew along with Becky, which I think that's lovely as well. Thank you. Kirsty D on YouTube, she's been watching while sorting out a sewing machine, ready for the new bag templates coming.
Oh.
I can't wait to get started. Yes, of course, the new launch from today, from earlier on, was those fabulous 3 new bag templates where you've got the crossover, the drawstring and the backpack, along with that eyelet toolkit with our Becky that we did this morning, which we've got a great deal on that, plus a one-click wonder available with the new crafting multi-craft dyes and the felt and that leather, matte leather look as well material. So you can go and check that out over there. Lots of lovely comments about the designs of the sets and how awesome they are. I've had a couple of questions though, Becky, so while you're doing that, is it okay to ask you a couple?
Of course, yeah, no problem.
So Barbara Satterley on YouTube has said, what is the difference between Builder Block and Builder Block Plus?
So the Builder Block has squares, half square triangles, quarter square triangles. And the Builder Block Plus has rectangles, isosceles triangles, and half rectangle triangles. So basically the majority of quilt designs will be squares, half square triangles, quarter square triangles. But you can mix them together like we're doing here. So the squares I've got here are from the original Builder Block, but the other ones, the rectangles, are from that Builder Block Plus. They all work together very well. Now you do have expansion packs, like we've got square expansion packs. We did also have some triangle expansion packs, but I think they've sold out now. But the square ones are in stock, so they have different size squares, so they work together with what you've already got if you've already got the original Builder Block. Yeah. So they're not being replicated, but you will find if you've bought the alphabet design, that has got squares, half square triangles, rectangles, and I think quarter square triangles. You will find some of those shapes are replicated in the original Builder Block and the Builder Block Plus, but I mean they're specifically made out so you can create those different letters. Now the great thing about that Builder Block, the alphabet one, is whilst we're only working on Roman lettering, as in A, B, C, D, if you were Greek and you wanted to use a Greek alphabet, you could use them for that as well. All you would need is a piece of graph paper so you could plan out your letters, and then you would be able to mix and match with the shapes already in that alphabet Builder Block. So it makes it quite versatile. And not only does it have the numbers on it, it also has punctuation, and it also has some shapes as well. So there's like a heart, there's a bear, there's a tree, some other things in there. So it's quite versatile. But I think once you start using the Builder Block, and my absolute favourite is the original Builder Block, you will see how useful they are. Yeah. And I have to say, you know, I couldn't be without them now. It's one of those things that before I started here, I didn't know I needed them. Now I just sort of think, oh, I don't know how anyone could go back. I could live without them. Yeah, exactly that.
I've had another question about the Builder Block dies from Terry Mack. She says when she uses the Builder Block dies, a lot of fibre dust builds up along the cutting edge of the die. She went, what's the best way to clean that off?
With a cloth. So you sometimes do get, I don't know where I've done, so here on the back, there's a bit of glue here. That just wipes off, but you sometimes do get like a build-up of, this isn't mine, but my ones at home have got stuff. I just give it a brush. You could just use a pin, or even like your dye brush, if you happen to have one of those, or a kind of stiff brush, you could use that just to get rid of all those little fibres.
Lovely, thank you. Suzanne Dawn on Facebook says, my machine is called sewing machine. I feel quite bad now. She said, I think I will think of a name. Could be Becky. Oh. She might name it after you. Oh. New on, so Tim's popped on here, first time watching with the sew along. So that's Tim. And I know Tim's one of our regular viewers of Craft.
Yeah.
So it's his first time watching us so long, crafting so long. He's put great help and advice and the amazing inspiration. Absolutely,
brilliant.
Tim. Wombi is short for wombat. Oh, Debbie, sometimes I do wonder about myself. Rita Jackson on YouTube says, my car is Black Beauty and I believe I will call my featherweight Slim.
Oh, okay.
Laquita has put, she's loving the fabric. God, it's beautiful. Honestly, you can go head over to the website on Shop the Show and you'll find that on there as well. And Beth Noob on Facebook has put, this is so pretty, Becky. Love how those love how those cut out so nice. Honestly, seriously, they do. And I think that's the strength of the builder block system.
Absolutely, yeah. It does makes anybody an easy crafter. I mean, if you think about before we had die cutting and you would do paper craft and you'd have to cut everything by hand. You'd have to be quite accomplished at using a scalpel really to put everything together. And now we've got that amazing ability to create these beautiful items in no time at all. And I think this is the same sort of thing that we've got here with the builder blocks, that you can create something that would be really, really difficult to make otherwise in no time at all. Just making sure I've got them all the right way. And that one is like that. So now we're going to stitch those together. So I know you see me, I keep ironing things and putting them back and lining them all up. It's worth just spending a little bit of time making sure you're lining everything back up and they're in the right place rather than unpicking. I hate unpicking. I'm quite likely to throw the thing that I was unpicking across the room. So they don't see this side of me at work. But did you see it this morning? I wasn't particularly happy this morning, was I? Never mind. Oh, it's just so frustrating. Anyway, it's all right. It's over now. It's over now.
And it's over. Yeah, it's over. And do you know what? To be fair, I'm so pleased it got them over the show because it's just a beautiful project. It was just a few things. We were having one of those moments where this. I say we. I've got your back, Becky. We were having one of those moments this morning.
And that's the thing. Sometimes things just go wrong, don't they?
They do.
It doesn't matter what how much we plan or how much we do things in advance. Sometimes, computers just says no.
Yeah.
No. No.
Heather's put, I'm quite impressed how quickly Becky flies through her steps. Terry Mack on YouTube has put, thank you, Becky. I recently cut 198 squares.
Wow.
Assorted sizes for a quilt. Would not have done that without my builder block.
No.
198, I would never attempt that on its own. To have something that literally whizzes through your machine where you can cut multiple layers of fabric, for me, is a game changer. And I always remember when we first launched the builder block, and now still a few years later, Becky, it still sells incredibly well because of that ease of use and the fact that it makes life so much easier for you guys when it comes to this kind of technique. And I'm loving watching you just literally whiz through those, joining your seams up together effortlessly. But it's all about that. I think, Becky, what you're showing here it's achievable for anybody.
It is.
I even feel that confident that I think I could do this.
You could.
Yeah.
You could absolutely. I mean, it's all you've got to do. I would always say 1/4 inch seam foot on your machine. It's an absolute game changer. I put tape on my machine so I can see where I'm going, but trying to keep that 1/4 inch is absolutely key. But you can create some amazing designs. And bear in mind, now whilst we're showing you these builder blocks now, the Builder Block Plus and Builder Block Original, we have lots of others, including lots that have got curves in them. The curves are really, really hard to achieve by cutting them out. But being able to use your builder block, it cuts everything perfectly and it makes it really simple to cut to do curves. I would never, in a month of Sundays, even begin to attempt a quilt that had curves in it. I'd just be like, no, that's not for me. I'm not doing that. I don't like it, and leave it. And I would never have done it. Whereas now, I just think, yeah, all right, I can do that. That's fine. And I just think that is what the builder block is doing. It's making things achievable for everybody.
Yeah, and Patricia Day's popped that you do make it look so easy, Becky. She's only used hers once to make a double quilt, but now she can see she needs to make more Christmas mats, etc. with this, because I can see that as well in that system. I can see those Christmas mats and your Christmas materials and how lovely they would look. That looks gorgeous, Becky.
So that's probably the simplest ones. The other one took a little bit longer to do, but that is one of the simpler ones. Where have I put the first one? Becky, where have you put it?
In your safe spot, Becky. Is it in front of you? Have you popped it?
Who knows?
Oh,
where did I put it? Oh yeah, it's on the floor. Of course.
Of course it'll be on the floor. That's where everything is, Becky.
Right. So we've done 2.
Oh, look at
so
them.
far. So we're going to put some sashing in between these, which we're going to do once we've made all of those quilts, all of those panels up. So these are the first 2. So if I show you my original ones, so these are the first 2. So these are basically the same, but obviously with different fabrics.
Yeah.
And again, it gives you a totally different look, doesn't it? I mean, it really does. Like that. Nicola thinks the new fabrics are better.
Those new fabrics are stunning. They really are stunning. Absolutely beautiful fabrics. And I think, to be fair, Becky, I mean, like, what you use there, those fabrics that you use there on your original projects are stunning. But you could use this with any fabrics, couldn't you?
Yeah. Yeah, you can use all sorts of different things and make it quite easy for you. So yeah, I think if you're starting out, the bigger block, so doing a 12-inch block is the better one. I try and do 12-inch blocks when I'm on air, so you can actually see them a little bit better. If you want to do something smaller, I'd try this one first in a larger block first of all, and then go down to something smaller.
Ellen Hayes on YouTube says Becky's sewing skills are poetry in motion.
Aww.
Isn't that lovely?
Yeah.
But to be fair, I'm going to say, Ellen, I'm going to agree with you, because I have been mesmerised throughout this craft along just to see it from that side. Because obviously I work in paper craft, and it's the same. It's like with anything. It's paper. It's exactly the same process where you start with something that may look like when you start cutting things up, it's when you put it together and start to build it up that you see just how beautiful it turns out. And it's the same applies to papercraft. For me personally, to watch you today, Becky, has been off the chart amazing. I've loved every single minute. And that goes for the first show as well, Becky, can I tell you? The first show I absolutely loved as well.
Because it was hilarious.
This one has been utterly fabulous to watch you literally take it from literally cutting out a few fabric squares and then shapes and those triangles, and pop it all together to create those 2 lovely pieces. So is this the project now where you're going to be taking it into the next stage in your Facebook Live?
Yes.
And that's drawn to a conclusion.
Yeah. So we won't be able to do it. So the next thing that we will do is cutting out these pieces. Would we get time to cut these out today, do you think?
About 10 minutes.
So what I'll probably do is I'm just going to cut these bits for this next box. Again, this is quite a simple block.
Yeah.
So I'll just cut those out. We won't be able to do anything else with it and put it together. But then in the Facebook Live that I do on Thursday, we will stitch this one together. And we may have the opportunity to cut this one out, because it's only an hour long, the Facebook Lives. So we might get a chance to cut this one out, or certainly cut some of it. So this is your card trick, which happens to be Sarah's favourite one. This one
here.
It
looks really effective. That looks like they're interlocking into each other. And I'm fascinated. I'm definitely tuning in myself because I want to see it.
And it's just half square triangles and then quarter square triangles. That's all it is. But like layering them up gives you that different effect. So we're going to continue with that. So I'll cut these ones out now of this fabric. So we've got those done and they're ready for the next show. So I'll pop that to one side. So what I know I need one of these, this big large size. So this is the largest square, which I have a feeling won't go through the Gemini Junior. No, it doesn't. So I might be able to cut that one out. I'll have to cut that one out at home. That one doesn't go through the Gemini Junior, but everything else does. So I need 2 of these. I need 4 of these, and I need 4 of these. So I'm just going to choose my fabrics. So I'll have a look and see what I've got here.
You know what this means, Becky?
What?
You've got to take them fabrics home.
Well, yeah, that's true. Yeah. What a shame. What a shame I have to use these fabrics at home.
Fabrics. Every single one of those fabrics you'll find on Shop the Show from earlier on today as well, because they are stunning. And they're the Lewis and Irene fabrics that are available to buy at, I believe, $7.99, $11.99, I think they were.
I think you're
obviously, that's not with your discount off, though, so you'll take your discounted price off. But check those out on the website because, yeah, they're just gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. I've got a name.
A name?
I have got a name. I've wrote it
Fabulous.
down already as well. But I'm just going to read a couple of more comments for you, Becky, while you're doing those cutting out. And if at any point you want to stop, because we've got to check in with our lovely Rhonda as well.
Yeah,
in fact,
should we
do
see
you know what? Do you know while you're doing that? In fact, do you know what, Becky? don't put yourself through anymore. You've done enough today, honestly. If you want to do those later on your Facebook Live, you're absolutely more than welcome to.
I'll cut those out. Yeah. I'm going to cut out the squares, I'm going to cut out the rectangles. I'm going to be using that gorgeous fabric here to go with it. So I'm going to be using those 3 fabrics for this next one. So I'll cut those out, then we know we're ready to get started.
To get started
sewing.
when you start on your live.
Exactly,
Absolutely fabulous. And I think we will check in on our lovely Rhonda right now as we're coming towards the end of the show. So, is our Rhonda, is she there? Is she ready? Fabulous. Rhonda, how are you going?
Hello.
Hello again.
I'm doing okay. I wanted to finish the block. I made mine smaller, but I wanted to finish this one block. Just to finish one thing.
Let's have a look then. Oh my.
The points are. They are brilliant.
That is beautiful. I've just had to turn my head because I've got it on the big screen over here because I wanted to see it close up. That is absolutely gorgeous. Beautiful work there. Beautiful sewing as well. That's gorgeous, Rhonda. I absolutely love it. Are you going to join Becky on her Facebook Live on Thursday this week?
Yes, of course I am. This light fabric in here, you can't see it, but it has pumpkins in it.
Oh, do you know what,
lovely.
Rhonda? Would you share it on the Facebook group page? Oh,
Here's my other
lovely,
fabric.
yeah. I can see
nice.
that. That's gorgeous fabric. And there's some beautiful fabrics out there, Becky.
Yeah.
Absolutely beautiful. Have you enjoyed joining in with Becky on her craft along today, Rhonda?
I have, of course, as always. I love the craft alongs, and I love doing them.
And we love having you as well,
I'm
Rhonda.
just having a particularly bad day today.
Oh, bless you. Hey, do you know what? Do you know what, Rhonda? Our lovely Becky, she'll tell you as well. It's been the same for Becky. She's been having a bit of a day today, hasn't you, Becky?
Yeah, it's been a bit of a mare.
Yeah,
One of those
a bit of a mare.
days, it's just like that, isn't it?
But to be fair, Rhonda, what you've done is beautiful. And like I've said all along, the craft alongs are there to give you that inspiration, that guide, and to craft along with our lovely Becky. But also, you'll finish that in your own time. And of course, if you want to join Becky on that Facebook group as well, absolutely do that. I want to say thank you, a big thank you to you for joining us today, Rhonda. And I hope to see you again very soon. It's been a bit different being this side and joining you on the craft along, but it's lovely always to have you. And please do say you'll come on again very soon as well.
Oh, I would love to. I love doing the craft alongs. I just feel like a craft along hog. Maybe someone else would like to do them.
And do you know what, Rhonda? I mean, we always would love to have you, but yeah, that's lovely for all those people that perhaps don't feel confident. What would you say to them?
Just do it.
Yay! Absolutely.
I mean,
have we got a little strap where people can go to it, James, where if we give the information? Do we not have that? So what is the information then, Producer Nicola?
I think
I'm testing her now.
If they put a comment in, I'm sure whoever's on the social.
So Rachel, if you could find that, you know, where it is to send in that information, like our Rhonda's done. But is it? What was that? Sorry. Oh, sorry. I was just going to say goodbye to Rhonda then. Sorry, James. I thought you were saying you were going to give me this. Oh my God, who's having a mare now? Who's having a mare now? Listen, I want a big shout out to our lovely Rhonda. Thank you so much, Rhonda, and we'll see you again very soon. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Oh, bless you. Lots of lovely comments come through. Make sure that you go ahead and watch those. Thank you so much.
I love you guys. Thank you.
Bye, Rhonda. Thank you. We've just had the information in my ear. Say that again. Crafters TV guest at crafterscompanion.co.uk. I'll repeat that again. Crafters TV guest at crafterscompanion.co.uk. If you feel like you've seen loads of amazing people, including Rhonda today, we've had loads of lovely guests that come along to our craft alongs. We've got a fair few craft alongs coming up. If you feel like joining in, then just send all your details in and we'll get in touch with you. Did you cut them out, Becky?
I've cut them out. I've not cut the middle one out because I need to use a bigger Gemini, but you can see they're all cut out just over here, all the other pieces, and I've put that fabric in the middle so you can see what that looks like. And then I've put the other blocks just to one side so you can see how it's coming together.
Becky, can I just say, Seriously, a big thank you for today. I think what you've done is just absolutely beautiful. I genuinely mean that. I genuinely think you are so talented at what you do, and that is a beautiful project.
Oh, thank you.
And I definitely am going to be tuning in to watch the rest. I'll be the silent watcher in the background since I've done so, but I'll be the silent watcher just so I can see you carry on and give you some support there as well. So thank you very much, Becky, for this show. It's been absolutely, literally, to watch the transformation has been fascinating for myself, since I don't particularly do soft crafts, so it's been absolutely fabulous. Loads of lovely comments coming in saying that they've been loving the craft along. Sarah Hibberson on YouTube said, loving this craft along, Becky, taking notes, I'm going to give sewing a try. You've inspired our lovely Sarah. Those builder blocks are a fantastic tool. I would love to get them. I'm going to read out the name in a second as well. Tim has said it's mesmerising watching Becky sew, and Lillian Kwok, poor Becky, the things you have to do for us. Bless you. So thank you to every single person that's been commenting along the Craft Along show. It's been lovely to read those comments out and pass them through to our Becky. We do have one more show coming up, which I'll give you a few more details in a minute. But the name of the person that is going to be going into the draw is Zoe Carver. Yay, Zoe! I don't know if you can see my writing there. I think we should have had a white pen of some kind on this this dark purple. But Zoe Carver, you are going into the prize giveaway. Ding! There you go. Now we do have one more show coming up. So you've just seen us at Craft Along. So the next show we've got coming up, bit of a masterclass or a masterclass, if going posh. Just wondering what the generated subtitles have come up with there. Oh, it actually said masterclass. So we've got a masterclass in an hour's time, would you believe? Because obviously this new changing, we keep forgetting, don't we?
Yeah, we can't quite get used to it, can we?
No, I know, it still takes some getting used to. So that's 6 p.m. here in the UK, 1 p.m. Eastern time, minus off an hour, so like 12 p.m. For the standard over on our stateside friends. And Pacific time, it's 10 a.m. And we're going to be doing a little masterclass in back to basics in stamping.
We are.
And so our Becky is going to be the craft expert in there, and I'm going to be on this side again. So I hope you can join us, because we'd love to have your company here on a Saturday evening. Please do join us. Thanks to absolutely everybody. Thanks to Nicola, to James, to Sam, to Becky, to Rhonda, and to Rachel, of course, who will be with me later on tonight as well. But please do join in us in an hour's time. So for now, bye-bye.